Good morning, children. Today we are going to deal with 10th class Political Science second chapter, that is Federalism. First chapter was power sharing in political science. The second chapter is Federalism. So I think people have remembered power sharing, Belgium and Sri Lanka's ethnic compositions we have remembered. And you have also remembered different types of power sharing laws, isn't it? In different types of power sharing, we had power shared among different organs of the government, power shared among different levels of the government, power shared among different social groups, and also among different political parties and pressure groups. Among that, one of the type of power sharing is power shared among different levels of the government. Yes, different levels of the government. In this, the power is shared between different levels, that is central, state and local level. Yes. So this was the one form of power sharing that we have come across. In this, the power is shared between central government, state government and local government. Yes, children. So it means that the power is not stagnated at one place. It has been deliberated to the lower levels of the government also. Isn't it, children? This is good. Then we have also seen that the ethnic composition of Belgium and Sri Lanka, we have seen that there were so many key changes which have taken place. Isn't it, children? We have seen with so many amendments, so many delegation of power to the state levels, how Belgium has resolved the problem which was there, and how Sri Lanka with adaptation of majoritarian measures have faced certain problems due to which lot of conflicts have been arised. Isn't it, children? So the key changes which has taken place in the central government to give the power to the regional government. So here the power in Belgium, the power was delegated to regional governments, or it has been delegated to regional government, due to which the power is not only settled at one place, whereas each and every constitutional units or each and every levels have certain type of powers. When they have certain type of powers, ultimately the governing of the country became very much easier. So this amendment, these changes have been taken place in 1993. The regional government was given constitutional powers and were no longer an independent or central government. They were given certain constitutional powers in 1993, due to which they were nowhere an independent or nowhere they are an independent government. The Belgium has shifted from unitary form of government to federal form of government. There are two keywords. Unitary. What is unitary means? In single form of government to federal form of government. Here, unitary form of government means the power is only settled at one level, or the supreme authority over there is only the central government. The central government passes the orders to the levels of the government and it questions them when these orders are not being implemented properly. Means the authority is only at one level, that is unitary. Then coming to, it has shifted from federal form of government. Federal form of government is nothing but division of power among different levels of government. The state government also has their own rules and regulations they can form. They are not answerable to the higher authorities of the central government, and they are not answerable to them. Even they have their own power to be executed over here. So by this example, you clearly understood that in Belgium the federal system was adopted, due to which the conflicts or the problems which were arising in Belgium were being resolved. These two examples clearly tell us that how the power is shared among different levels and how the governing becomes easier when the power is shared the power is divided between central authority and various constitutional units. It means that power is distributed among different levels of the government. So, this is about federalism. Then coming to the key features of federalism. What are the key features of federalism? There are 7 key features of federalism. When we understood that the power is delegated to the other levels, it is not that only the central government or the unitary level of government is taking care of the power. Whereas the power is delegated to other levels of the government, then what are its features? There are 7 main features of federalism. It means the first one is there are 2 or more levels of government. It means the first one is 2 or more levels. In federalism, generally we have 2 or more levels of government. Means the power should be distributed between 2 or it can be distributed among 2 or more levels of government. That is the first feature of federalism. The next feature of federalism is different tiers of government govern the same citizens, but each tier has its own jurisdictions in specific matters of legislative, taxation and administration. Different tiers of government govern the same citizens. Try to understand here. Different tiers of government govern the same citizens. The second feature is it is the same citizens whom we are going to be governed. Take the example. We live in Telangana. Yes, we are being governed by the Telangana government. Isn't it? There are certain issues which are at the central level. Yes, those issues are dealt by the central government. And related to those issues, the central government also governs the same people. Either it can be Telangana people or some other state. Means different levels of the government also govern the same citizens only. We are being governed by different levels of the government. Understood? But the jurisdictions are different. But it is specified jurisdiction. Jurisdiction here means the area over which someone has legal authority. The area may be defined in terms of geographical boundaries or in terms of certain kinds of subject. Jurisdiction, certain kind of boundaries. Either in certain kind of boundaries we are being governed by the central government or being governed by the state government. Sometimes both the governments will govern the same citizens. Same citizens are governed by the different levels of government. That is the second feature of federalism. So different people, different governments are being governed by the same city. Then coming to the third one, the jurisdictions of the respective levels of the tiers of government is specified in the constitution. The jurisdictions are specified, people are specially mentioned in the constitution. In the constitution it is clearly mentioned that what sort of jurisdiction to be followed by whom, and these jurisdictions are being constitutionally guaranteed. They are clearly being mentioned in the constitution. They are being authorized in the constitution that what sort of jurisdictions to be followed by whom. This is the third feature of federalism. Coming to the fourth feature, the federal provisions of the constitution cannot be unilaterally changed by one level of the government. Such changes require the consent of both levels of the government. Means the fundamental provisions of the constitution cannot be unilaterally changed. Means a single government cannot unilaterally, individually they can change the decision, they can frame the laws, they can do anything. It has to take the consent from different levels of the government. From the other level of the government also, the consent need to be taken. Individually, any of the particular constitution cannot be changed by single level of the government. That is the fourth feature of the constitution. Fourth feature of the federalism. Then coming to the fifth feature. Court has the power to interpret in the constitution and the power to different levels of the government. Here, the court has the right. We all are aware that we have 3 organs of the government: legislative, executive and judiciary. Among these, judiciary is an independent in the exercise of their respective powers. Means, if any sort of problem arises between different levels of the government, the court has the right to interpret, and also it is an empire to resolve the disputes which are arising within the government. That is the fifth feature of federalism. Coming to the sixth feature of federalism. The sources of revenue for each level of the government is clearly specified to ensure its financial autonomy. It means the sources are clearly mentioned. The sources of revenues are clearly mentioned. They are very clear in that what sort of sources will be, what sort of revenue sources will be delegated to whom. It is clearly mentioned. It is a self-independent body wherein it is clearly mentioned, because to run every country, to govern every country, we need certain amount of revenue. So it is clearly mentioned that, specifically it is mentioned that the revenue for different levels are being clearly specified. Then the last key feature of federalism is the federalism system thus has dual objective. The last one, it has two objectives. The seventh feature of federalism has two objectives. The first one is to safeguard and promote unity of the country and also accommodate regional diversity. Safeguard and promote unity of the country. It is the main objective of the federalism, to safeguard and promote unity in the country. Safely and promoting unity in the country. Also accommodating diversities which are existing. Accommodating and accepting, adopting whatever the diversity, regional diversities which are existing in the country. These are the 7 key features of federalism. It's a very important children, right, to understand. The first key feature was 2 or more levels of the government exist. First key feature. The second feature is different levels of different tiers of the government govern the same citizens and each tier has its own jurisdictions. And third one is jurisdictions in respective of the levels of the tiers of the government are specified in the constitution, and the government is constitutionally guaranteed. The fourth one is the fundamental provisions of the constitution cannot be unilaterally changed. It has to be concerned from both the levels of the government. And fifth one is court can interpret in the constitution the power of the levels of the government and act as an umpire if the disputes arises. Sixth one is the sources of revenue of each level of government is clearly specified. And the seventh one is it has 2 dual objectives. First one is to safeguard and promote the unity, and the second one is accommodate regional diversity. So these are the 7 key features of federalism. An ideal federal system has both aspects: mutual trust and agreement to live together. These are the 2 aspects which the ideal federalism has. That is mutual trust among each other. Mutual trust, and the second one is agreement to live together. Agreement to live together. These are the 2 main ideals of federal system. Hope you are very clear with federalism and its key features. Coming to the next concept, that is types of federations. Generally we have 2 types of federations. Those are coming together federation and holding together federation. These are 2 kinds or 2 routes of federation. The first route includes the independent states coming together and forming a government. All the independent states will come together and form a big government. This is nothing but coming together federation. Here all these independent states come together and form a big unit. Try to understand children. Take a case of USA. states come together and form a big unit is called as coming together federation. The examples are United States of America. The name itself we are very clear. United States of America. All the states are coming together, united together and formed a big unit. Whereas holding together federation. Holding together federation. In this form of federation, generally the power lies with the central government or the big unit, and it distributes the power to the smaller states. It distributes the power to the smaller states. This is called as holding together federation. Here the big unit is holding different states, and it is being having more power compared to the other state. Here the power is delegated to the small states, whereas the central government has more power, and this power is delegated to the smaller states. They are holding the power with the main power whatever is existing. It is nothing but holding together federation. The best example of this is India. In India also the central government has more power, whereas different states are being holding the power which is delegated by the central government. So here from main unit or from the central government the power is delegated, federated to different states. So here it is called as holding together federation. The best examples are India, Spain and Belgium. In Belgium also we have seen that a certain amount of power is distributed from central government to the state government. The representative, certain amount of power was delegated. Isn't it children? Here it is nothing but from central government the power when it is delegated to the other people, other states, then it is nothing but delegation of power. This is nothing but holding together federation. These are the two types of federations which are existing in federalism. Federalism has two types, coming together federation and holding together federation. Then coming to the next concept, that what makes India a federal country? What are the things which makes India a federal country? Try to understand children. What makes India a federal country? We understood federalism is the division of power among different levels of the government, from central level to the state level, isn't it? Then what are the things which are making India a federal country? What are the issues which are making India a federal country? So there are certain issues due to which we can say that So when the constitution was made, it was clearly specified that we will follow federal system of government. We have adopted the principle of federalism. Coming to we have seen the 7 features of federalism also. In those 7 features also, it was clearly mentioned that the power should be distributed to different levels, and it was clearly, the jurisdictions were made very clearly. Any problem arises, the court or the judiciary can come and interfere in it, isn't it so? And different revenues, the sources of revenue was clearly specified. Even the main intention was the trust and accommodation of diversity. All these were the features which says that, which are making India a federal country. So, the constitution clearly provided three-folded distribution of legislative power between union government and state government. Three-folded distribution of power. The power was, whatever the power was existing, it was being distributed into 3 lists. Those are union list, state list and concurrent list. Here we are learning about what makes India a federal country. Means how can we say that India is a federal country? Isn't it so? What are the things which are making us to think that India is a federal country? Yes, we have clearly distributed our subjects into 3 different lists, and with these 3 different lists, we are easily able to govern the country. Due to which we can clearly say that the lists which are falling in these categories, we can clearly say that yes, we are following federal system of government. What does these lists consist of? Union list. The first one is union list. Union list includes subject of national importance such as the defense of the country, foreign affairs, banking, communication, currency. Take the example. So defense, currency, foreign affairs. All these subjects we have mentioned in union list. It means that in these sort of subject should be uniform throughout the country. Isn't it so? Every state cannot have their own currency. Isn't it so? Every state cannot have their own defense forces. It is not possible. So we have clearly mentioned that these are the subjects which will be dealt by the union government. These are the subjects which will be dealt by the state government. There are certain subjects which will be dealt by both state government and central government. So when we have distributed our subjects, our powers differently, then the governing becomes easier. That is why we can state that India is a federal country. So certain lists like defense, currency, foreign affairs, communication, all these are coming under union list. Uniform policy we are following throughout the country. Throughout the country we have uniformity in these lists. The union government alone can make laws related to the subject mentioned in the union list. Here the union government only has the power to make the laws related to these lists. Every state or someone else cannot form the laws which are subjected in this list. Then it is clearly mentioned. When the distribution is clear, very clear enough, then it becomes, governing becomes very easier enough. Then what are the things which are subjected in the state list? So subjects of state list and local importance such as police, trade, commerce, agriculture, irrigation. The state government alone can make laws relating to the subjects mentioned in the state list, like agriculture. Take one of the examples. We have listed so police, trade, commerce, agriculture. Take the examples here. So there is no need of uniformity in the subjects like agriculture because the cropping pattern in different states varies. So uniformly the union government cannot make laws on it, isn't it? So such type of things are listed in state list. Here the state government can make the laws relating to these subjects and it can govern them. So even the police department, even the trade department, these are the different lists which are taken care by the state government, and these subjects are being governed by the state government. Then there which are being governed by the union government only, or which are being governed by the central government only. There are certain things which are governed by the state government. There are certain things which has to be governed by the state government as well as union government. Those subjects are included in the concurrent list, like education, forest, trade unions, marriage, adoption and successions. These are certain things which are included in the state government and which are included in the concurrent list. Take the example of education. So education can be at both the levels, isn't it? So the state government, like state government have their own state boards, and also central government also have their own boards, isn't it, so children? So education can be held in both the state, both the areas, are held by both the areas. So this falls under concurrent list. The list, the subjects which can be dealt by both the governments falls under concurrent list. Like education is the best example. So at central level we have CBSE, at state level we have state boards. Even universities also, at central level we have different universities, and also at state level we have different universities. So these are the things which falls under concurrent list, which are listed in both, which are held by both state and central government. Both union as well as state government can make law subject mentioned in this list, and when the laws are made by both state government and central government, can form the laws which are included in concurrent list. If any sort of problem arises, any sort of disputes arises regarding these laws which are framed by the central government and state government, then the central government's laws will be taken into consideration. The laws made by the union government only will be taken into consideration. Then these are the three lists we have seen. Apart from this, when the constitution was made, they have clearly mentioned the list, what are the subjects will be included in different lists. But after the constitution was made, there are certain things which came into existence, like the subjects like computer software that came after the constitution was made, isn't it? IT technology, which came after the independence, after the constitution was made. So such a type of subjects are included in residuary list. We have one more list called as residuary list. One more list called as residuary list, in which subjects which came into existence after the constitution was made comes under this residuary list. So, according to this, when the residuary list were formed, certain subjects were included in this. We were clear. But at the same time, we noted that most of the federalism that was formed by holding together do not have equal power in the constitution. We have seen that made during the formation of constitution. The state on the basis of the structure of constitution. Yes, the central government, the division of power between central government and state government is based on the structure of constitution. So any particular state or central cannot change this structure until unless the parliament cannot of its own changes this arrangement until unless it is passed in both the houses of the parliament. If you want to make any changes in the constitution, well, whatever the powers are distributed to central and the state government, if you want to make any changes in these powers, then even the parliament alone cannot make the changes. It has to be accepted in both the houses of the parliament, and at least 2/3 majority you have to receive. At least 2/3 majority regarding these changes have to be received from the houses, and also it has to be accepted by at least half of the total state. At least half of the total state has to accept the changes whatever is made in this. And at last, and if in case of any disputes among the division of the powers arises, then ultimately the High Court or the Supreme Court can make the decisions. Any sort of problems which are arising, then High Court or Supreme Court can make the changes whatever are arising. Hope you understood this, children. What is federalism? What are its features? What are the different types of federalism? And what is making India a federal country by dividing its powers very clearly into three lists? You also understood how these powers are distributed